This is the weapon that has changed the tide of Nuke T side, but Flamey, ridiculous! Ace! 5 kills, 5 seconds, and it's the 4th on the board for Navi.
Navi's recent peak performance has led to incredible results and created some of the most spectacular and entertaining Counter-Strike moments of the last few months. Not only did they beat G2 and win the final at IEM Katowice 2020, they also destroyed Astralis during the semifinals on their map pick of Nuke. Since this is probably the most dominant performance that we have ever seen against the number 1 team, I thought it would be interesting to have a more in-depth look at what happened during this match and see what elements led to this insane performance of Navi. Round 2, after losing the pistol round to Astralis, Navi force buys with 3 pistols and 2 scouts. This round, Astralis decides to go for a default smoke wall towards Secret. When Simple spots that the outside smoke walls comes in, he instantly repositions himself after nading the Vice down to half HP. At the same time, Boomich rotates to Secret to put himself in a forward position to hold off the Astralis push. After jiggle peeking this corner a bit, he spots the first Astralis attacker and runs back while quickly throwing down the smoke as a defensive tool to hold off the push. Not only does the smoke that he puts down in the middle of the hallway allow him to retreat into cover, it also buys some time for his teammate Flamey to rotate from ramp to Secret. Remember that nade damage that was inflicted on the Vice at the beginning of the round by Simple's high explosive? Well, that nade now allows Flamey to get an easy one-shot to the chest with a scout. At this point, 3 of the Astralis members are stuck in a choke point between both Boomich and Flamey, who have the stronger angles created by the stairs. Unfortunately for Flamey, he goes down due to the Molotov from Astralis, but still manages to get a second swift kill on Glaive. Boomich, using the door to trick his opponent, and a CZ in hand, follows this up with a good frag onto Debris before being traded by Magisk, who remains as the lone survivor. From here on, it's an easy cleanup for Electronic due to his strategic positioning above the bomb site. To summarize, this round turned into a win for Navi due to 4 elements. First of all, Simple's high explosive nade onto the Vice that sets up the one-shot potential for a scout. Second, the crucial timing of Boomich's rotation together with the smoke that he puts down to delay the push from Astralis. This gave Flamey enough time to rotate and take the strong crossfire position at the stairs, which is the third element. And then, to seal the deal, Simple also had a very quick headshot kill onto Sibix, which prevented any comeback from the Danes. After winning that force buy in the second round, Navi gets 2 more rounds for free due to the bad economy of Astralis. So you might think round 5, the first gun round, is something that will be more valuable to look at from an analytical perspective, right? Well, Flamey doesn't need any analysis. Just give this man a high explosive nade and a Galil and he will take care of the rest. The most surprising thing here is not even the outstanding performance from Flamey, it's rather the questionable and uncharacteristic decision making from Astralis to go for such an aggressive and risky push in their first proper gun round. Instead of forcing the issue, they could have at least tried to get some information or an opening frag against some of the inferior weaponry of the Navi squad. Instead, they decide to go all in on the ramp position and end up instantly getting deleted. Enough about the shenanigans, let's have a look at round 7, in which Astralis has another gun round. Following Boomich's POV from the beginning of the round, we see that he has a built-in routine of nades that he likes to use to prevent any pushes at A. One interesting insight at this moment right here, we can see that Astralis uses a smoke from Squeaky that lands in the Molotov near the vents. Now, the decision making from Boomich here is quite interesting. He decides to instantly jump into the vents once he sees that the smoke is being used by the attackers. The reason he does this is that it gives him a very strong position to deal with anyone trying to jump down. I think this is quite clever and just shows good awareness of the possible counters to the attacking strategies. At this point in the round, after a short silence across the map, an outside smoke wall is deployed and creates the possibility for the attackers to get into Secret. Once again, the instant that the smokes land outside is the trigger for Boomich to drop down the vent and get himself into this angle at Secret. One of the main reasons for that win during the previous force buy we saw was the quick rotation from Flamey to help out Boomich at the stairs of Secret. However, this round they decide to leave Boomich by himself down at the stairs, and even though he manages to take down one of the attackers before going down, it still doesn't buy enough time for his teammates to get into those strong positions. This allows Astralis to more easily get onto the B side, and combined with Zipic's frag onto Simple, gives them their second round win. So as you can see, those small changes in the rotations can make a huge difference that will either win or lose the round. Navi is quick to adapt however. In round 8 we see Electronic move to a secret via ramp and the window room. This allows them to have a good answer to the outside smoke wall strategy that allowed Astralis to win that previous round. Once the smokes come in, Electronic is now in a very strong angle with the creek and manages to take down 3 members of Astralis. It seems like a very simple sequence of events, but let's have another look to make sure we can catch all the little details in this play. First of all, the decision from Electronic to instantly make his way to secret from ramp allows him to get there early on in the round, and even allows clearing out the silo angle. After clearing this angle, we can see that he has the reflex of grabbing his incendiary, to perhaps use it to flush out anyone behind the red container. However, this is where the decision comes in, of not using it and instead waiting for the flashbangs of his teammate. This way, Electronic keeps the element of surprise when it comes to positioning. Simple, at the same time, was planning to go to heaven or ramp. But once the call comes in that the smokes are landing outside, he instantly turns around and lines up these 2 flashes. The placement of these flashes is high enough that for Electronic's line of sight they will be behind the wall, but still blind all of the attackers that look towards him. Also, the timing of the flashes is a bit spaced out, having a short delay in between, to optimize the amount of time that the enemy players will be blinded. This is perfectly synchronized with Electronic's peaks, taking down 1 Astralis player at a time for each of the flashbangs from Simple. In game, this is just a few seconds during the round, but as you can already tell, many elements contribute and lead up to this flawless triple kill from Electronic. For Astralis' point of view, this sort of a peak could have been prevented, by using a simple Molotov that lands at the stairs and prevents any defender to be there. This doesn't mean that the round is over however. Dupree sneakily pushed next to Mini, and this way managed to get the jump onto Simple. While at the same time, Sipix got a good timing onto Boomich, who was coming up the fence back to A. But due to the strong positioning of Perfecto, who remain on top of the rafters at A, Navi still manages to secure the win in round 8. That brings us to round 10. Another gun run for Astralis gives them a chance to claw their way back into the match. Sipix, who's usually the lobby player for Astralis, is spamming through the smoke of Squeaky. With a little bit of luck for him and an unfortunate timing for Boomich, Sipix manages to kill him through the smoke. Once again, the smoke wall is used by Astralis, but this time they decide to not go for the outside push to get into secret. Instead, they channel all of their forces into the ramp area. That's where Flamey's exceptional individual performance kicks in once again, taking down both Sipix and Glaive with 2 headshots from the creek. Jumping a little bit back in time and switching to Simple's POV, we see him challenge towards Squeaky and narrowly miss Sipix in lobby. Because Simple just heard the smokes land outside, he then decides to go down the vent to cover secret. There is a bit of hesitation in where he will go, but once the call comes in that Astralis are strongly executing at ramp, he instantly decides to go down to the B side itself to put himself in a strong angle. By the time the surviving Astralis players can go down the ramp to B, Simple is already in that position and manages to win the initial aim duel against Magisk. He then gets back into cover and does this insanely quick flick on the device, leaving him no chance of a reaction. Dupree, however, gets revenge with a quick headshot onto Simple to finally take him down. This makes it a 2v1 for Navi, giving them an easy time to outposition Dupree and win the round. Now, in this video I wanted to focus on the reasons why Navi dominated Astralis, and once again in this round as well as most other rounds, the reason for the victory was mainly due to 2 contributing factors. First of all, the Navi players seem to have an advantage when it comes to individual performance at the moment, besting all of the Astralis players in the straight up gunfights with the superior aim and mechanical brilliance. This element, as notoriously known in Counter-Strike, is not the most reliable way to win matches consistently. This sort of reminds me of Team Liquid's run of last year, where they steamrolled all of their opponents using the incredible skills of their individuals combined with rather basic tactics that allowed for a lot of freedom. But as we could see in their example, once the individual performances went down a bit, it was very hard for them to consistently keep winning matches at this level of CS. That's why teams such as Astralis seem to have less trouble staying at the top for a longer period of time. Because even though they have some of the most skilled players in their lineup, they still have that more structured approach to the game that allows them to perform rather well, even on the days that the individuals aren't necessarily performing at their best. That brings us to that second element of success for Navi, In this match against Astralis, they have shown to have good macro movement across the map, having well-timed rotations that get them into strong positions at the right moment. However, it is not known if this macro movement is the result of strong and structured preparation, or if it was more of intuition from the individuals themselves. That's why I'm still hesitant to predict whether Navi will stay on top for a long time or not. I guess we'll need to see more of their matches across a longer period of time to judge whether this win at IEM Katowice 2020 was a one-time moment of glory, or if it is perhaps the start of a new era in Counter-Strike.